Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Not the prettiest game we've ever played. I'd like to start out by saying that I give Indiana a lot of credit. You know, they've struggled a little bit lately, and they played so hard it was scary, those guards. But I got to give my guys a lot of credit. I don't think any of you that are sitting out there will have any clue what's gone on these last 10 days. And 4 minutes left to go in the game, I set up something for Josh, and he almost airballed the three, and then he missed a free throw. He looks at me and says, "Coach, I can't move." And I didn't like the way we played, but I was pretty proud of my guys. You know, got Aaron to start getting in the paint and coming to a 2-foot jump stop. We didn't practice at all yesterday except our bigs. And I told DJ, I said I was humiliated by the way our bigs played. They gave up 50 points down there. And our bigs went at it yesterday because we have so many of them. We just tried to save our guards. And I'll give them all credit because I think Trace Jackson is one of the better players in this league. And to hold him to 1 for 5, and he did go 7 for 10 from the line, but 9.7 rebounds against a player that I personally like a lot. And I thought Finney, I was worried about him because he was not very good when we played him down there, but last 2 years he's been a Michigan State killer. And he ran those guys on those, we call it rover ball screens, back and forth, and poor Josh was chasing them. And I got to get more out of Rocket right now. He struggled to guard him, and we just got to do a little better job if we can, and we're going to try to. But before we even talk about Michigan, you can ask whatever questions you want, but I got to tell you, I'm really proud of my players. In an ugly game that I thought Indiana played damn good. They cut so hard and worked so hard, and I give Archie a lot of credit, but I do give our team, Aaron and Joey Hauser made a couple of big plays down the stretch. Those big shots, and he gets those couple of free throws and a couple of rebounds, and that was big for us. Gabe hit those 2 big threes, and I think that was really big for us. But if you were in that locker room right now, you wouldn't be interviewing anybody because they're spent. And I think I'll call Magic and ask him, how do you get up for the Celtics, fly across the country? Because I know I heard Michigan lost, but they're still the best team in this league. Everybody knows it. And we got our work cut out. And I'm going to leave here and go talk to my staff and try to figure out what the game plan is for tomorrow as far as how we can get a team we haven't played yet and get through the situation that we've been in for the last 6 games or whatever it's been, and look forward to it. And that's what I'm going to do. But tonight, proud of my team.
First question comes from Chris Solari.
Hey, Tom, you mentioned about Aaron. There was that one, the 2 buckets that Gabe hit, him getting you guys out and running there. I mean, I think you guys scored almost 30 points after that, had scored 30 points up to that point. How much did that moment change where this game headed?
Well, it changed it a lot, and that's why I am disappointed in our point guards. And, I can play Aaron there some, and I'm sure that you're sitting there saying, why doesn't he play him there all the time? And I'm playing Aaron at so many different things right now. Hell, he could write your article and coach my team for me. And I say that with respect, although I didn't think he was very good the first half. We didn't move the ball at all. We didn't get the ball. As you say, we weren't running. We weren't moving the ball at all. And some of it was Aaron's fault. And, he took the blame at halftime. And then we moved the ball, and then he got penetrating, and he made some phenomenal plays in there. But those plays by Gabe were big. The plays by Aaron were big. I'd say those two plays might have won us the game.
And as a follow-up, because you mentioned the point guard situation, can you give us an update on Foster and what's happening there?
Yeah, we talked. I told you last week that he might do something, and we just looked at it, and it was this kid will play dead, as I said, and he tried to shoot that day. He just couldn't get that left arm up. We knew he was going to need surgery, and he wanted to suck it up, and yet I want him to have a fair chance to be able to play next year. So we all decided that the best bet, because he wasn't going to be able to play, would be to have it. So they did it in like 2 days, boom, boom, and he had surgery this morning, and he was here tonight. He'll be laid up for a couple days. I don't know if he can go with us tomorrow or not, but he was still awesome. I gained a lot of respect for him too, just in how he's handled everything and what he's done for this team.
Next, we'll go to Matt Charbonneau.
Tom, you mentioned a little bit in the opening, but that defensive performance, especially on Trace, to be able to limit him like that, not only limit his overall numbers, but just make it tough on him from the start. It seemed like he was getting frustrated at points and had, some of their huddles, and just how vital and how important that was tonight, especially early when the offense wasn't really, clicking for you guys.
Yeah. Well, when they scored 34, he scored 34, and I think it was Thompson had, what did he have, 15? So they had 49 points against us last time. And that was personal. That was embarrassing because, first of all, I recruited Trace. And as I said, love his family, him. I think he's a very good player, but can't give God 34 points, And I give DJ a lot of credit on that because I kind of put it on him that he should take it personal, put it on the players, they should take it personal. And I just thought we did a better job of not letting them get the ball so deep. At their place, it was here. Excuse me, you want to stand here? Go ahead, score. So I think it helped playing Illinois and Ohio State because they go inside so much. I think that helps some. I even think it helped when we played Iowa, even though they killed us here. We did a decent job on him, on Garza. So we're getting a little better on it by committee. We put in a few wrinkles that we thought we could do as far as digging and how we could do it. And we did all that in a day, and that was pretty good of our players to pick it up. But he's a hell of a player, and I thought we put a hell of a lot of effort into containing him, not stopping him, but we did a damn good job. And those bigs and DJ and Doug, they deserve the credit.
Next, we'll go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, I'm going to take a little liberty here and forgive me if it brings up some old wounds, but after Aaron's performance, I couldn't help but think about several years ago when you and him made, international news with the back and forth. Can you talk about that scenario compared to where he's at now and what that means?
Yeah, Aaron and I talk about that more than a little. And it's so sad that it's really a good thing. And I swear to you, I believe this from the bottom of my heart, Lindsey, that Aaron's a better player because he handled that like a man the first day. And his family did, he did. And in all fairness and honesty, he needed it then. I'd do the same thing if it was tomorrow. And it brought us together. Now when I talk to him, you almost never see anything because he knows I got his back. And to be honest with you, I know he's got mine. And that in coaching, watching a guy go from, how do I want to put it politely, lazy, I'm not a very polite guy, lazy, to, better and better in the process. And now he's playing 38 minutes on his knees, and making big plays and hitting big threes. That's the beauty of coaching. That's the success stories. There's a million failure stories. I got some this year I can't get through to yet, but that is well-deserved on him and his family's part because they could have, made a scene about it, and I just give them all credit. And And like I said, if that same thing happened tomorrow, so all those people that were mad at me, I do the same thing tomorrow. Because holding people accountable is what we need to do a better job in our country of. If we start holding people accountable, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. And when you hold somebody accountable that cares and you show them you care, it's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm so happy for him. I just got to figure out a way now to get him some ice and get him, I don't know, massage and get him whatever they do in the NBA to get guys ready. I'm going to do that tonight and tomorrow, and we're going to be ready to play on Thursday one way or another.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we'll go to Matt Wenzel at MI.
Hey, Tom, you talked about your guys being spent, but with what you got ahead, back-to-back games against your top rival and with what's on the line, a chance to secure the NCAA tournament, is there any more that setup can help you just suck a little bit of energy out of the guys down the stretch when you need it?
Well, you know, there'll be no excuses no matter what we do. We're playing, you know, you can say one of the best teams in the Big Ten. We're playing one of the best teams in the country. I mean, I talk about it tomorrow, but I think they've done a hell of a job. I think those guys have grown. You know, they got a hell of a center and get a transfer point guard that's been dynamite, you know. And but don't think that the meat and potatoes of that team isn't livers and you know, those wings and Brooks. I mean, he's been a warrior for 4 years. You know, he's been through it all, and you know, I think getting ready for him. You know, yeah, we're going to do everything we can do to get ready for him, and the energy and the emotion of the game will help you for a little while, but you know, we got our work cut out just to make sure that we got to do a better job. I got to do a much better job. We got to sub people. I told Jack Hoiberg, be ready to play. We're got to sub a little bit better somehow, some way, no matter what, and see if we can have enough energy down the stretch.
Thanks, Tom. Next, we'll go to Rico Cooney.
Hey, Tom, Gabe talked about Henny in the huddles, and then he talked a little bit about it when he came on. He talked about the fact, I mean, obviously we know what he did on the court. He talked about the fact that he got into the guys about we got to stop trading baskets. And I was wondering, did you remember that sequence and how it went?
Oh yeah, you know, I think Gabe's trying to take over as maybe next year's guy. You know, he was getting into it. He said something about trading, but Aaron really did. He said we're done trading baskets and we need to get some defensive stops. You know, the amazing part about this is we hold them to 32 and 10. We out-rebound them by 6. You know, unfortunately, you know, like we said earlier, you know, our break was non-existent, and we got to have a fast break. We scored points on our fast break. We rebounded well enough to have a fast break. We just didn't run well enough. And but I think guys have bought in that you do got to guard people. And we've done a pretty good job of guarding this last 6-8 games. Hopefully we can get our offense ratcheted up. We had 3 games in a row where we shot almost 50%. We didn't shoot very well, you know, and I think I know the reason. I mean, I know our legs are little, so it's not an excuse. It's a fact of life. People would have to be crazy not to see what we've been through, but it can't be an excuse when you go to Michigan. It just can't be. So guys play on both feet. I'm cool. Both knees, I'm cool. Both hips, I'm cool. We're going to play.
As just a quick follow-up to that, so is that your coach? That's your idea of your players being your coach in the huddle?
Yeah, Aaron has really grown up to that. Now, Josh has been the best, but Josh gave me everything that kid had tonight. I mean, you had to be there. You had to be there. It was one of those things that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Not to get emotional about it, not to get sentimental about it, not to get crazy about it. But you ask guys to give you everything they got. He went beyond that. So he didn't do a very good job in the huddle because talking was taking in energy and air, and he didn't have much left. So he did everything else he could do, but Aaron took over that tonight. And now if I can get both of them together, you know, who knows? I mean, we still got a long way to go. We all know that. There's no rose-colored petals here. We still got a lot of work to do, but this team is showing some character, and I'm proud of them for that.
Thank you. Got time for a couple more. We'll start with Kyle Austin.
You said obviously we can't know what it's been like for these guys the last 10 days, but wanted you to kind of give us a sense of what it's been like to see them go through what the toll it's taken, and how do you as a coach kind of balance prepping and wanting to practice with obviously trying to keep them as fresh as.
Well, probably never in the history of the world would I play against my rival and not have a couple of good practices, you know, but tomorrow's going to be a long day of meetings, film sessions, walkthroughs, film sessions, walkthroughs, and the walkthroughs I might put some guys in wheelchairs or chairs and just kind of drive them around because I don't want anybody standing up much, and I'm not trying to be ridiculous. I'm just saying there's never been, you know, as much as I love the Cleveses and the Waltons and the Draymonts and the Denzels and all the other guys that have done so much for me and so much here, nobody, not anybody, has been through anything close to what these guys have been through. And it's just, it's fun to see people reach down and give you something that they might not even have left. And that was what I felt tonight. You know, I thought we were ready to play. You know, we had a little energy today in our shoot around, but boy, that game started and I just felt like we were running in quicksand, you know, a little bit. So we'll try to come up with some new things. What a cool opportunity this is, though. How do you beat it? You know, you get a chance to play against, I could argue, the best team in the country, and you play them twice. They're your rival, but you're doing it under circumstances that have been probably tough for them. But I think everybody would agree we've had the toughest 2 weeks of anybody, and we're still hanging in there. So we're just going to keep battling and see where it takes us.
Next we'll go to John at Detroit Sports Podcast.
Hey Tom, I'm just wondering about your current thoughts about the state of the rivalry with Michigan, and as you look over their roster, what gives you concern as you prepare to take your team there in 2 days?
Well, I'll do this, but I want to make sure, because tomorrow we are having a press conference, right? So I'll answer this, but I don't want to get into answering all kinds of questions, okay? Is that fair? The rivalry, you know, give John Beeline a lot of credit. You know, it started out so funny with John and I, but the one thing we had that I really admire is incredible respect, I think, for each other's programs and each other's ways that we did it. You know, they were somewhat different, but, you know, when he said those last couple years, you know, we don't have to take a back seat to the Duke-Carolina rivalry. We can build our own. I think it really was heading that way, you know, and I'm not saying it's not going to continue to head that way, but that's something him and I had going, you know, and let's face it, right now Michigan might be as good as they've been since the Fab Five. You know, I don't know. I haven't faced them yet, and I've seen them on TV only some, but they present a lot of problems. They got shooters, they got a point guard that runs their team, and they got a 7-1 guy inside that's been phenomenal for a freshman. So very, very good team, very well coached. I think he's done a great job with them. You know, I'm very good friends with Phil Martelli on their staff because we've been on some committees together. They've just done a great job, and so the rivalry will always be the rivalry. It's Michigan, Michigan State, and I think it'll continue to grow and become arguably one of the great rivalries in the country, you know. And, you know, in football, there was the Michigan, Ohio State, and there's the USC, UCLA, you know, there's the Oklahoma, Texas, you know. I mean, if there's 5 big rivalries in football, Michigan, Michigan State, and basketball is definitely turning out to be one of the great rivalries in basketball. And I think that was the sad thing when he left. I had great respect for rivalries. Aren't rivalries when they're one-sided. In my first few years, we got beat by 20 every game. Wasn't a rivalry. And then we went a stretch when we beat them by 20 every game. Wasn't a rivalry. And then after 4 or 5 of his years, it got to be a rivalry, and it was a very respected rivalry. And that's the beauty of it. I always have to say you hate your rival. I mean, God, that's the American way. But if you respect them, that makes it a really good rivalry. So I'm sure the job he's done and where his team's at right now, this will be a good rivalry. And we're going to try to give him a good game on Thursday.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll wrap this evening with a question from Larry Lake.
Hey, Tom, with what you guys have done in this recent stretch, do you think this team is depth enough to get in the NCAA tournament right now?
Depends. If they want to use the net and figure out how much you won by, then we shouldn't have gave up the last 2 points. Or if they want to, no, I'm just kidding. You know what? I don't know. I've never begged. I didn't beg for a 1 seed when we were 2. I didn't beg to get in. If this conference, I thought should have been a 1 seed back when we ended up a 2 and got beat by Middle Tennessee. Everybody thought we should have been a 1. And I said, I didn't care. But I thought the conference deserved to have us as a 1 seed. I thought the conference was that good. Michigan was good. We were both really good. And there were a couple, Wisconsin, I think, there were a couple other teams that were good. And if our conference doesn't deserve 9, 10 teams, I don't know what conference ever will. Now, saying that, are we one of those? I don't know. That's for you guys to write about, some committee to pick. We dug ourselves our own hole. I said a long time ago that loss to Purdue could end up a haunting loss, the way we lost it at the end, the stuff that went on. And if it is, so be it. But we're going to give it our fight. I think we're an NCAA tournament team. I think who else is going to play who we've played? And who else is going to go through COVID? COVID where, you got players affected. I mean, Josh, if you think he's completely over it, you don't know nothing about the virus. And Gabe, the same thing, and Marty. And so, I don't know. I don't know how they take that into effect. They take injuries into effect, but I'm not going to worry about that. I got a rivalry game. I got an opportunity of a lifetime. Somebody will pick and choose whether we're worthy of that. We still got work to do. We can still pad our resume, and that's all that's on my mind right now. If the day comes we don't get in, there's going to be no complaining from me because, even when I see some of these other teams that they put up there, I'm going, huh? But we dug ourselves our own hole, and some of it was our fault, and some of it was the virus' fault. When I look back, do I wish I would have played those 3 games in a row after 3 days back? Probably not. But I wanted to play 20 games. I did what I could do. It looks like we're going to play all 20. I'm proud of that. I'm happy about it. And we'll see what happens. So we got our work cut out. You know that. But we're no shoe-in. I know that.
On that note, Coach, we'll let you get to work this evening.
That's what I'm going to do, guys. I appreciate you guys. And I'll try to give you a little something tomorrow in between sessions.
Thanks, Coach.
See you guys.